Alright, today I'm going to be making breakfast with Granitestone cookware, but before we get started cooking with the Granitestone cookware, I'm going to make a little snack using these Mama Ramen noodles right here. These are the shrimp tom yum ramen noodles. It's a great pack. I really like the flavor a lot that Mama brings to the table of the instant ramen noodles. And I'm going to get started with this. And in order to get started, we're going to have to boil some water. So I have some water sitting right here in my Iwatani grill. You can actually check this out on the tabs below. It has the Iwatani burner down there where you can check that out. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. So turn this on, and I'm getting the heat going. This is a Hario kettle that also is down below in the section where you can see the items for purchase down there. So while this is heating up, I'm just going to go ahead and back this up, and I'm going to go ahead and open the Mama instant noodles and prepare these to be eaten. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Just tear the plastic off, completely off, just like that. And the instructions are to open the lid. Fairly simple instructions. Open the lid and pour the water inside up into the line and let it soak for 3 minutes as it says right here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this nice ingredients inside, and I'm going to open this up at the top right here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull out the seasoning pack and the fork right here, which is very handy to have. Take that, put this to the side, and I'm just going to go ahead and pour some of the seasoning inside of the cup right here. Get this all prepared for it. Pour the seasoning in there. Maybe I'll get down close so you can see it a little bit better. So I'm going to put that in there, scrape that off, and then put the next pack inside. I'm going to go ahead and put this inside. So this is the snack. If you're just joining in, say hello in the message box. I'm going to put this in. We're just cooking a snack before we get started with the actual breakfast with the Granitestone cookware we're going to be cooking. So I'm just heating this up. This is going to be my snack while I prepare breakfast. We have a couple of treats coming on with the Granitestone cookware that I think that you all will enjoy. I think the water is boiling. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Again, this is an Iwatani burner, which is a nice burner to have. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in. So this is the hot water inside of the noodle cup. I'm going to pour it in, and then I'm going to let it sit for 3 minutes. And while it's sitting, I'm going to go ahead and get together the breakfast that I'm going to be cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in there and put this to the side for 3 minutes. And I'm going to grab the Granitestone cookware right now. So I'm going to come over here and Granitestone. So here is one of the small egg pans that the Granitestone has. And I like this because it has a non-stick surface right here. Also, check the description part, not the description part, but down the tabs below. You have these granite stones where you can actually look at them yourself. So this right here is the Granitestone where it has the non-stick surface on the inside. It has the metal ring right here, which is good for conducting heat and to evenly distribute the heat throughout the entire pan. And I'm going to put this on the burner. And while this is sitting on the burner, I'm going to grab some cooking spray. And I'm going to be cooking an egg on the egg pan. So I'm going to grab the cooking spray 1 second. And then we're going to be cooking with the Granitestone. We're going to be cooking with the Granitestone and making something really nice. So I'm coming back over here. Hope you didn't miss me too much. And I'm coming back down. And I'm going to be cooking with the Granitestone. Get down in here, and I'll put a little bit of oil on the pan. I typically do that, but let's check out to see if it can cook without the oil on the pan. I know we have oil right here, which will make it nice and non-stick, but let's see how this handles right here. This egg pan for the burner's actually too big for the egg pan, but we're still going to make it work anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. And I'm going to heat up the pan, and we're going to actually use this pan right here. We're going to cook without oil on this pan to see if this non-stick surface really lives up to its name. So we're going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and break out an egg, get an egg prepared to see how well this goes on. All right, so I have an egg right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crack this once this gets hot enough. I don't want to get it too hot. But we're going to see if I can cook the egg on this Granitestone cookware without any oil whatsoever. All right, so we're going to try this out and see how well this goes. All right, and while this is heating up, we're going to go ahead and check up on the Mama noodles right here, the cup noodles. Check this in. All right, so it's almost been about 3 minutes, and it looks like it's almost done right here. We're just going to let it soak for about another 30 seconds, and then we can dive in and try out these Mama noodles. All right, so I think the pan is hot enough. I'm going to go ahead and take the egg. I'm going to crack it, and I'm going to break it. And we're going to see how well it cooks on this right here. So I'm going to turn it down low once we have the pan in the pan, and I'm going to see how well this actually holds up to its name. It's non-stick coating on here. Looks like it's cooking already. Looks like it's frying, and we're just going to make some small adjustments while this is cooking, and just to see that it doesn't burn. We don't want it to burn. I don't think it's going to burn in here, but I don't want it to stick, and I don't want it to burn. But we're going to ensure that it doesn't. All right, so look at it. It's frying on the side. It looks like it's not sticking whatsoever. I'm going to try to move it a little bit right here. And it's definitely coming up a little bit. We'll see how well it's doing. Maybe I needed to add a little bit of oil to the pan. We'll see. So I'm going to come up in here. So it's definitely not, it's not bad, but it's not sticking too bad right here. So we definitely should have added some oil to the pan. Just going to go ahead and flip this right there. So I'm guessing that the Granitestone, it has its limits. It's not perfect. And if you know me, if you've watched any of my live streams before, I don't fake anything in here. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. So it looks like this Granitestone, you actually need some sort of oil or butter down on the pan in order to fry an egg. I try to go the extreme route and try to cook an egg on this pan without any oil, and it looks like it wasn't the best of ideas. No one's perfect, not even me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fry this. Looks like the pan is hot enough. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and we're going to check and see how well this goes on right here. So I'm going to take this. So it does come up. So even though it does stick a little bit to a non-stick pan without oil, it actually does come up. It's not going to stick to the point to where I'm going to have to take out a Brillo pad and scrape some of the Teflon off or whatever protection they have on it. So it is non-stick. It sticks a little bit, but the egg looks nice right here. So we're going to just go ahead and finish cooking this. I might add a little bit of salt onto this right here just to make it palatable. And we're going to go on to our next recipe where we're going to test the larger Granitestone pan to the test. We're going to put that to the test to see how well the nonstick surface works when I'm cooking something else that would normally stick in something per se like a die-cast pan or a stainless steel pan, or better yet, a ceramic pan. We'll see if it sticks with that, and if it does, we're going to have to make alternative plans, but I have a lot of oil that I'll be using on it to make sure that it doesn't stick. So I'm going to put a little bit of salt on this. And so I have salt and I have pepper on the eggs in the Granitestone pan, and as you can see, the egg is not sticking right here. So it looked like it was sticking at first, but it is absolutely coming off right now. All right, so I fried the eggs. This is Cajun style of frying eggs, if you don't know already. So this is the eggs right here. So it didn't stick too much on the nonstick pan. And the part that it did stick, it is actually coming up. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to grab my other Granitestone pan, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to cook on this. We're going to try to make something fancy with this. So I'm going to stick the small pan to the side. All right, stick the small pan to the side, and what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cook in this. And so I'm going to make a recipe of mine where it includes eggs, bread, pepper, salt, olive oil, a dash of milk, a side of honey, a little bit of banana, and some noodles. So we're going to get started on this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my bowl. I'm going to push this back. And what we're going to do right here is we're going to go ahead and crack some eggs. Spilled a little bit of tea in there, olive oil in there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and break some eggs and put the eggs inside of the bowl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to not scramble these eggs, but I'm going to mix these eggs together. And then I'm going to place them in the pan, and I'm going to cook this with toast. And I promise you, this may be a recipe that you want to share with some of your loved ones, someone you really care about, because it's a pretty awesome recipe of mine. So I'm going to go ahead and put the eggs in. I have 2 eggs in there right now. And I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more because I might make some extra to keep the party going a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put the eggs in just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and mix these eggs. But before I mix the eggs, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper inside of here for flavor. So I'm going to get in closer so you can see this. So I'm putting in some pepper right here, some black peppercorn pepper inside of the eggs. And I like to do this before I mix it because it can make the flavor go all around and give it a nice taste. So I put the black pepper in there right there. And next I'm going to put some salt. So I have a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then after I put all of that in there, I'm just going to come over here and just mix these up a little bit and add a dash of milk, not too much. You just want a dash of milk because it really adds to the flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and right there, put a little bit of milk in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and mix this up just like this. Just like I was doing earlier. Just take a fork or a whisking whisk and just whisk the eggs away. Mix them up well. Make them look nice just like this. So after you've mixed it for about a few seconds, maybe about 10 seconds or so, you're going to want to go ahead and take the fork out. And we're going to go ahead and heat up the pan because we're going to start our recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and put the eggs to the side. Check on my noodles right here. Remember, I was cooking my noodles. They look nice. I'm actually going to eat this with my meal. All right, so I'm going to put the eggs to the side. And then what I'm going to grab right now is some bread. All right, this is for the recipe that we're making. I'm going to grab some bread. I'm going to grab 2 pieces. I'm going to use 1 piece at a time, and we're going to make magic happen. All right, watch this. I'm also going to have a nice piece of cheese that I'm going to be adding to this. I'm going to have cheese to this, and I'm going to add a little bit of pepper, but that's going to come at the end. So let's get started with this. So I'm going to bring back the burner, the Iwatani. Now you can check down on one of the tabs and find one of these Iwatani nice burners right here. Very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the flame on to heat up the pan evenly. All right, now when I'm heating up the pan, I try not to turn it on too high because I want the pan to heat up slowly. This will ensure that the food is cooked fairly evenly. All right, so I have this, and while the pan is heating up, I'm going to check on my eggs, make sure they're still mixed. Because one thing that I notice, sometimes when I'm beating the eggs, not all of it gets mixed up pretty well. So I have to come back a second time and get the job done. All right, so it's heating up. I'm going to go ahead and place a little bit of oil in the pan. Like we saw before, the Granitestone pan requires a little bit of love or butter or oil. In this case, I have olive oil. I'm just going to place some olive oil in here. Just a little bit, not too much, because I just want enough to be in there. Just enough to be in there to keep things from sticking. All right, so I have the olive oil in there. The flame died, turn that back on. And the oil is plenty hot, the pan is plenty hot. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take my bowl with the egg, the pepper in there. And I'm just going to go ahead and pour the egg inside of here. Pour some egg in there. I'm going to turn this down low. And then I'm going to go ahead and place a piece of toast right in the middle. All right. So I'm going to place that in the middle right there. And then I'm going to take my all-American cheese, take a slice of the cheese, and then I'm going to go ahead and place this on top right here. Now, the key is not to cook it too fast. And so what I'm going to do right here is I'm actually going to turn the flame down just a little bit lower. All right, so I turned down the flame a little bit lower. And while that's going on, I like to add a little bit more of pepper. I'm a pepper lover, always have been, and I'm just going to keep the flow going. So add a little bit of pepper on the top. That adds a little bit to the color. And then I'm going to add a little bit more salt to the top, just like that. And you'll notice that it's cooking quite nicely. I'm going to get in closer because it looks really nice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go ahead and see that the pan is not sticking to the egg, or the egg is not sticking to the pan, which is what I wanted this pan for, because I wanted something to where I can cook something like this, where it requires a lot of maneuverability, a lot of movement around here, without the hassle of worrying about having the food stick to the pan. So once it's cooked enough, I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and flip this on the other side. All right, so it's flipped on the other side, just like that. All right, do you see that? And once it's on this side, I'm just going to fry it a little bit, just like this. I'm going to toss this, and then you're going to tuck the ends under like that. Tuck the ends just like that. And then put a little bit more pepper on top, just like this. Put a little pepper on top, and it's looking nice. Now, if you want some ketchup or hot sauce to put on the egg, go ahead and do that, and it will look nice. And so I'm going to flip this over, and you'll see what it looks like on the other side. It'll be nice and toasted, because remember I added that piece of cheese on the other side. And we're going to flip this over to let you see that. So I'm going to go under here. And remember that piece of cheese? Look, it's nice and toasted on that side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up right here. And I'm going to go ahead and take the egg. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip it like this. Look at that. So the piece of toast is right in the middle. The cheese is on my spatula. And it's looking good right here. And I'm going to slice this open so you can see this a little bit better. And we're going to try this recipe one more time. I still have some more egg, and I'm going to do it in a different way to where you might be even more impressed than what you are with this one right here. So once I did this, I have an option. I can keep this like this. It looks like a bread omelet, but it's a little bit more fancier than that. Or I can fold it again like this, if I want to, just like that. Right there, you see that? Did you miss that? Hope you didn't miss that. So I'm going to go ahead and take the egg, and I'm going to place it on to the pan. And as you can see, this was not that difficult. This is one of my more complicated recipes, but it wasn't very difficult. And we're going to cut this open, and I'm going to let you see the goodness that's going to be inside of this. Now look at this. Look at the bread inside. I'm going to put it on a plate, and I'm going to let you see that. All right, so gonna come up here and look at this. Put the cheese on there like that. Now look at that. I'm gonna put the noodles also on this. We're gonna get in close because this is gonna be really nice for you to see. So I'm gonna come down here and get in close. All right, so get ready for this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get the noodles. Remember the mama noodles? And I'm gonna add the noodles on the side right here. Look at this. I'm gonna put the noodles on the side. The shrimp noodles, the flavor's still in them. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the noodles on the side. And look at that. Look at that. Looks really good, right? Noodles on the side. And look at that. Look at that. It's almost too good to be true right here. And I'm going to show you like right here. Remember the toast that was inside? We're going to get to it. I'm trying to see if I can get a little bit closer. All right, so you see that? I'm going to cut this open so you can see the toast. All right, so the toast that we put on the inside, look at that. Look at that. Nice toast to soak up the egg that's in there. Look at this. Look at this. I'm going to bring it up close so you can see. All right, so that's the Granitestone cookware that I just cooked with. All right, and if you stay tuned, you stay on, I'm going to start my next recipe with the Granitestone cookware, and we're going to cook another egg. Look at the toast. Look at the cheese. Look at the pepper that was in there. Looks good, doesn't it? So we're going to go ahead and make the next recipe using the rest of the egg and the Granitestone. All right, so I'm going to put this nice meal to the side and save this later for somebody who wants this. All right, so I'm going to put this to the side. And I'm going to come up and we're going to go ahead and get started with the next recipe. Now, one thing about nonstick ware is that it cleans really well. Now, this spatula with the cheese still on it, we're going to put that away. All right, because we're not going to use this anymore because the cheese is stuck on this. This is not the non-stickware. So what I'm going to do is with the non-stickware, the Granitestone cookware that I have right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take just a dry cloth and look how well this wipes out right here. And it's clean and ready and great, good to go. So hold this thought right here. I'm going to go ahead and grab a banana. All right. So this right here, this is another recipe that we're going to use. It's going to be really good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and take a banana. All right. We have the banana and we have the Granitestone pan right here. Now this recipe is going to be really good. So I'm going to need you all to stay focused on this. Okay. So I have the Granitestone and I'm going to go ahead and turn this on similar to how I did before with my Iwatani grill. Turn that on. All right, let that heat up. And while that's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and take some more olive oil. And I'm going to pour some olive oil on the inside. Just like that. All right. And I'm going to spread the love to make sure the love gets all around the pan because it's going to need some love for this recipe. And I'm going to take my banana. I believe this is either the 10 or the 14. The other pan is in the sink somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. He was asking what size the pan is. Now, Granitestone has a number of different sizes of pans that you can work with. I use them all. Make sure that they use them well. And so what I'm going to do right here, I'm going to go ahead and slice some banana in here. You're like, what is he doing with sliced banana inside of this Granitestone pan? Well, I'm going to show you. This is like one of my favorite recipes that I make at my restaurant. And I'm going to go ahead and take the fried bananas. That's what we're doing right now. We're frying the bananas just a little bit. But we're going to add a little bit of seasoning to it. And it's going to make it really nice. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because this burner gets really hot. So I'm going to fry these up a little bit like this. And if you need be, add some more olive oil. Now, the purpose of adding more olive oil is not to keep the bananas from sticking, but rather to add more flavor to the whole recipe. All right, so we have this going on. And while it's going on, I'm going to add a little bit of salt And you're probably like thinking, like, what is he doing? He's adding salt to bananas in a Granitestone pan. Trust me on this. You're going to love this. All right, so I'm going to add some salt. Add some salt to the pan. And a little bit of pepper. All right, so I'm going to add this right here. So I'm going to add some pepper. And once I have the salt and the pepper to it, I'm just going to go ahead and mix the olive oil as well as the bananas into the pan. The flame keeps on going down, but it can't stop my fire. All right, so I'm going to have this in here. And I'm just going to let this fry just a little bit. And I'm going to have to gear up for what's coming next because this is going to be a little bit of magic right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and fry the bananas up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do right here is I am going to go ahead and pour in the egg on top. But before that, I'm going to add one more egg to the mix. All right? But I'm going to do that after I pour the egg in. So I'm going to take the egg, make sure the pan is down low on a low fire. And I'm going to go ahead and pour this in here right here. Look at that. Really nice right here. So once you've poured that in there, what you're going to do is take an egg and you're going to crack this and you're going to go ahead and put this on top right there. Look at that. Look at that. Just like that. And then after that, if you have one more slice of American cheese, which I just so happen to have in my back pocket, I'm going to go ahead and open this up and place this on right on top. And if you can move that egg back into the middle where it belongs, that'll be great. But if you can't, just let it be. So you're going to place the cheese right on top. And then you're going to get a slice of bread. Right here, I have a slice of bread. And I'm going to place this directly on the cheese. Just like this. You see that? Really nice. There's a little bit of piece of yolk on the side, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add a little bit of pepper to it. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt on top of this. So it's mixing all together pretty well. Like right there. All right. It's really good. So it's heating up. And the point, what we want to do right here is we want to get this egg that's on the side cooked a little bit before we flip this over and allow it to cook on the other side and toasterate on this side. Now, the trick with this is we have to use a nonstick pan like this Granitestone pan right here. Because if you were to use something else like a stainless steel pan or die cast, iron cast, whatever you call those pans, we'd be in a heaping of trouble right now because things would be sticking everywhere and we wouldn't be able to cook this wonderful recipe. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cook this a little bit. So we're going to make sure that this is frying all on the sides. All right, going to go fry this a little bit really quick. Just check the sides. And if you want to assist in the matter, just go ahead and take your spatula and just simply slide the sides right here. And if there's juice in here, get the juice to come down a little bit like that. Wait for the juice to be loose and let it just slide over here and it cooks. Now you can see some of the cheese that was under here is starting to get loose because it's, what do you say? What's the word for that in English? Melting? All right, so the cheese is melting a little bit. A little bit of the yolk is going on right here. And so what we're going to do is just going to shift it around a little bit to make sure it's even because when I flip this, I don't want it to fall apart. We want this to stay intact. And we're going to do that. All right, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take part of this and I'm just going to fold it over like this on that side just to check and see, okay? Check and see. Fold it over on the side like that. Look at that. Perfect right there. Look at the egg yolk just sitting in there, soaking up the sun. Just fold it over right here so it can be ready to flip. And at this point, it looks like it's ready to be flipped. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to go ahead and take the spatula and I'm going to get underneath and I'm going to flip it and we're going to fry it on the other side. It's going to be just magnificent. So get under here and you have to use the wrist because it's all in the wrist and you're going to flip this on the other side. So we're going to go ahead and do this. So I have this and I'm going to go ahead and flip this. Now underneath here we have the egg yolk, we have the cheese, we have more egg, we have pepper, and we have salt, all sitting on a sesame seed bun. Oh, that's Burger King. All sitting on a piece of toast. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to flipperate this really quick. So get underneath, and all right, be ready. All right, ready. 1, 2, hold on. 1, 2. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this. I'm getting close. You can see all this. Look at that. Do you remember the bananas that we were talking about? Those are the bananas that are sitting on top. Underneath this is egg right here. Underneath the egg is cheese. And underneath the cheese is the toast that is toasting right now. This is going to be absolute goodness if you ask me. Now, we have this on here, and I'm going to let this toasterate just a little bit longer, and then we're going to put this on the plate, and I'm going to show you the concoction that we came up with. Now, you're probably thinking banana, fried egg with cheese and toast, but I'm telling you, this is really good, and it couldn't be accomplished if it were in anything else other than a nonstick pan, and I just so happen to have a Granitestone pan sitting underneath my cabinet that I can use this on. So I'm going to let this fry a little bit. I think there's enough heat going on right here to where I can turn the flame off and place this on the plate, and we're going to cut in here, and I'm going to show you all the goodness that we've been talking about. Absolute goodness. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn the flame off. All right, so it's frying a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and get underneath here, and I'm going to place this, move this to the side, and I'm going to place this, get my plate ready, get you ready to see all this. Get my plate ready, and I'm going to get in close, and I'm going to pull the egg toast on top, just right here, and there's a little stray banana right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take the banana, put this on top right here, and look at this. I'm going to get my fork, going to get my knife, and I'm going to show you what I just made in the Granitestone right here, and it's going to be mouth-watering. So that's banana on top right here. All right, that's the banana. This is the egg. There's cheese, and then there's toast underneath. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slice this just like that. I'm going to let you see what is on the inside. Going to go ahead and take that, get a little bit smaller piece so I can put it on the fork, and I'm going to bring it up close. And I hope I get a banana on this because it's going to be really good. So I'm going to take the banana, the fried banana, put that on there. Oh, it slipped away. You ever think about the one that got away? Well, that banana just got away. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this on right there. And look at that. Look at that. The toasted banana, the toasted toast, the toasted egg, the melted cheese. Look at that. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness. All right, so this is going to be the end of my stream unless I decide to cook a little bit more. Do you all think I should keep on cooking? Because I have some more recipes that I can make with the Granitestone. If you want me to cook more, just let me know in the message box. Just say cook more, and I'll cook more of my recipes that I have up my sleeve. I can have like strawberry shortcakes, like I can cook in the Granitestone. I can cook coffee waffles, anything inside of the Granitestone. If you want me to do that, just let me know. We'll have more tasty dishes just like this. Do you see that? That is the egg. That is the toast. That is the banana. Absolute goodness. You know what? None of you have to comment in the comment box. I think I'm just going to keep on going. All right. I'm going to keep on going with the Granitestone, and I'm going to come up with a recipe that's going to be absolutely goodness. All right. So now look at that. All right. So I'm going to come up with a recipe, something you've never heard of. All right. Nothing, something that you've never heard of. Maybe you've heard of it, but it's going to be on another level. So go ahead and watch this food right quick while I go to the refrigerator and I get some more ingredients so we can make the next recipe in the Granitestone. All right. 1 second. Come around here and get some ingredients from out of this that I'm going to be making in the Granitestone. It's going to be really good. All right, so we've got some ingredients. this shortly. So I'm going to get a spoon. All right. So we're going to get started on this. We have another recipe. I'm just going to clean up a little bit really quick. I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit. I have some Clorox wipes, and I'm just going to wipe up around the pan, and I'm going to get started on the next recipe. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe up. Everyone's staying up late night watching. We just made a recipe, one of my favorite breakfast recipes that have sold so many. We're going to go ahead and cook a little bit more. So we're just going to go ahead and wipe up a little bit. All right, so we have the banana fritter toasted egg right here, which was really good. But now we're going to move on. We're going to greater, better things, whatever that means. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to make a really good alternative version of a grilled cheese sandwich. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a couple of pieces of bread. Right here, I have a couple of pieces of bread. And we're going to get started on this. We're actually going to build it right here on the counter. Now, normally you make a grilled cheese sandwich using just nothing but cheese and a grill. But this is going to be something special. This is going to be something off the wall, something you've never heard of, something that you'll try sometime, and people will look at you like you're kind of weird. But it's okay, because this is going to be one of the greatest sandwiches of your life. All right, so keep that right there. I'm going to grab one more thing from out of the refrigerator, and we're going to get started on this sandwich, which I think is going to be a game changer for many of you. All right, so grab one thing from out of the refrigerator, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. And we're going to get started with this. All right, so we have some bread right here, okay? Classic, something classic that you need when making a sandwich. And I'm going to put some of this stuff on. This is a traditional basil pesto. Have you ever heard of a pesto grilled cheese sandwich? You never have. You are today. It's going to be really good. But we're going to add a little bit more to it. I'm going to add a little bit of spice to it, all right? You need some spice in your life. So right here, I have this sauce right here. It's called spicy sauce. And I'm going to add this to the bread. Now, what are you doing? You're adding the spicy sauce to the bread. I know that's what some of you are thinking at home. What is this guy doing? What is this crazy chef doing? Well, I'm going to go ahead and open up the traditional basil pesto, and I'm going to go ahead and get some of this pesto out, and I'm going to spread some of the love onto the bread right here. Now, all right, so we're going to need to spread this out. It's going to add a lot of flavor to it, so you don't want it to be so intense in one area. So let's spread the love of the garlic pesto all over the bread. It smells so good. It smells like garlic pesto. All right. After we do that, we're going to do something crazy. All right. So it looks funny right here. Okay. You have pesto. You have the spicy red sauce. We're going to add some sweetness to it. And that's why I have this banana right here. And now trust me on this. It's going to bring out the sweet savoriness of the sandwich. And it's going to take it to another level that you've probably never been before. All right. So I'm going to put some of the banana on here. Just a few slices. We don't need a whole bunch of banana on the sandwich. We just need something to throw off the savoriness. And the only way you can throw off the savoriness is with a little bit of sweetness. So we're going to add a little bit of the sweetness right there. So once we add the sweetness, aka the banana, we're going to go ahead and add some more savory. And that's where this 100% All-American cheese comes into place, where I'm going to go ahead and place this on top, just like that. Make sure you get on in the middle, because if you don't have it in the middle, it will actually fall off on the side. So once we have that on there, I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. And then we're going to get ready to cook this in our Granitestone cookware. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull out the cookware. Now remember, I just cooked fried banana eggs inside of the Granitestone right here. So it is a little dirty. And you remember the trick I told you with the Granitestone cookware is when you're cleaning it out, when you're trying to cook multiple meals, you can just take a dry cloth and go through the pan like this and wipe it clean to where you can use it right after you've just cooked something. So it just wipes it out. All of the stuff came clear. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Iwatani grill back to heat up the pan. And we're going to be cooking this sandwich, which is really good. All right. So we have this on here. I'm going to go ahead and instead of using oil on this one right here, I'm going to add 100% all American Irish butter. Really good stuff right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some butter in here into the pan. And I'm going to let it melt a little bit. Now, the reason why I'm going to let it melt a little bit is because I'm going to put the bread on top. Now, the key to making a great grilled cheese sandwich is butter. I don't care what you say. Butter gives it a nice toastiness that is to be desired. All right, so I'm going to take the butter and I'm just going to spin the bread, the sandwich, all in the butter. And this is going to allow the butter to be absorbed by the bread. And when it's absorbed by the bread, it's going to give it a nice golden color on the side. Now, what I'm doing right here is I'm checking to see how low the flame is. Now, you want it down low. And I can tell you this, a lot of people go wrong with grilled cheese sandwiches for one reason alone. They have the pan too high, and the cheese in the middle, and all the ingredients in the middle never get enough heat, never get enough love to melt all the way. Therefore, you end up with a grilled cheese sandwich that isn't grilled and is a cold cheese on the middle, which is never good. You never want cold cheese on the middle of your sandwich. All right. So we're going to just go ahead and take this. I'm going to take my spatula. I'm going to wipe it off really quick. And we're going to get started with preparing the sandwich to be flipped to the other side. All right. So we have the bananas on here. And if you're just joining on, we have a grilled cheese sandwich with banana on here. We have banana. We have the red sauce. We have pesto garlic on here, which is going to make it really good. So I'm going to check this to see how well it's toasting really quick. Let's see what mark on the world that we're doing right here. I'm going to try to see if you can get the seed in here too. Oh, it's toasting so well. So it's about time to flip it. And what I'm going to do before I flip it is we need butter on the other side. Now, I could place some butter on the other side, or I can place it right here and then flip it, and that way the butter would be already on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take this and flip that on the Granitestone. You see, it's not sticking because the Granitestone is a nonstick cookware. Therefore, it's not sticking. So I flip this over, and as you can see, it's toasted quite nicely on this side. If you see right here, toasted quite nicely. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slide it around a little bit and let this toast a little bit more. So move that around, and it's toasting quite nicely. Look at that. I want this side to be the same way that the other side looks like. That way we have an even toasted sandwich with banana, cheese, pesto, the spicy sauce on there. It's really good. It brings the best of both worlds. It's the sweet and savory best of both worlds. So this is not going to be on here long because the pan is so hot that it's probably already started frying a little bit on the other side, and it's cooked. Now, if you want to heat it all the way through on both sides again and again, go ahead and flip it again and let the heat continue to cook. And so I'm going to go ahead and turn the flame off. And then I'm going to go grab a plate, and we're going to cut this open, and we're going to see what happened on the inside. So give me a second. The flame is off, so you don't have to worry about anything burning. And then I'm going to go over to the other side and get a plate so we can see what this looks like. Give me 1 second. All right, so we have this. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the sandwich, and I'm going to place this onto the plate. And I'm going to get in close so we can see what has been going on in here. We have the fried banana. We have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and flip it like this so you can see that. Now look at this. Look at that, the sandwich. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and cut this open so we can see the other side. We can see the hello on the other side. I'll try to make this sandwich. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to slice it. I like slicing my grilled cheese sandwiches like this. I'm just going to cut this open. And I'm going to show you the banana. Look at the banana inside right there. Now look at the banana. Look at that. So you see the banana on the inside. You see the cheese. You see the pesto. You see the salt and you see the pepper. Look at that. Doesn't get much better than that. Look at that. That's absolute goodness if you ask me. But we're going to keep on going. We're going to make another type of sandwich. We're going to make a barbecue. Actually, we're not going to make a barbecue sandwich. I'm actually going to make a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Bet you've never heard of that. So let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and make a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And we're going to be using Jif peanut butter. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go grab some jelly, and we're going to be making a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich in the Granitestone cookware. Absolute goodness. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the jelly. Walk to the fridge. Grab the jelly. Grab the jelly. Where's the jelly? Big jelly. Right here. Coming back, and we're going to get started on this. We're going to get started on this, and it's going to be really good. And we're going to keep on going. So I have the jelly right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach back around and I'm going to get some more bread, because to make a sandwich, it's essential that you have bread. I don't know how you can make a sandwich without bread. So I grabbed some bread and we're going to go ahead and get started with this. So I have crumbs everywhere. I'm going to wipe up a little bit. All right, so pull this back and I'm going to go ahead and get the bread right here. Look at that nice looking bread right here, wheat bread. Trying to stay healthy. All right, so I have the bread. And when you're making a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need the bread, of course, we talked about. You're going to need peanut butter. I have creamy peanut butter right here. And you're also going to need jelly. I have organic blackberry fruit spread, otherwise called jelly. Well, it doesn't say jelly, but I'm calling it jelly. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to go ahead and put some jelly. I like adding jelly first because the jam doesn't shake like that. So I'm going to go ahead and take some jelly right here and put the jelly on here. And you don't want to put too much, okay? You just want to put enough to spread the love. So I'm going to go ahead and spread the love of the jelly onto my pieces of bread, just like this, evenly. All right, so once we have that, I'm going to set this to the side. And then you want to add some peanut butter. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some peanut butter, some Jif like we talked about before, and I'm going to go ahead and take the Jif creamy peanut butter, and I'm going to go ahead and spread some of this peanut butter. Get a nice fork and spread the peanut butter cleanly on top of the sandwich. Now, when you're doing the peanut butter for a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you don't want the peanut butter to come too close to the edge. And I'll tell you why. Because if you have it come too close to the edge, the peanut butter will drip on the pan and it'll start to fry on the pan. And it won't be the worst of things, but you don't want to have burnt peanut butter on your pan. And it may not mean that much on a Granitestone pan because it's nonstick, but you don't want to waste food. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rub the rest of this on here. Scrape the rest of the peanut butter on top of the bread. And then I'm going to go ahead and construct the sandwich. So I have the peanut butter side right here, nice and even. And remember what I was talking about. When you're pasting the peanut butter on, you don't want it to come too close to the edge like right here, because you can run into some serious problems where the peanut butter falls on the pan and you may burn the peanut butter. So we're going to take the peanut butter right here, and I'm going to go ahead and take the jelly side. And when you're putting it together, you have to bring it together very carefully, because if you don't, you may get some of the jelly or peanut butter to spill on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to slap it together right here. All right, so the sandwich is ready. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wipe out the pan, the Granitestone pan that we've been using. And with this Granitestone pan, we're going to actually be cooking a nice grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, if you've never heard of a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you probably want to stick onto this right here so you can see about this, because it takes peanut butter and jelly to the next world. All right, so we're going to go ahead and, did I wipe the pan out pretty well? I think I did. So I'm going to go ahead and take this right here, and I'm going to go ahead and put some peanut butter, or not peanut butter, some butter actually on the pan. But first I'm going to turn the flame on, because we want the flame to be going to actually cook this properly. So I'm going to go ahead and take some butter and put it on the pan, just like that. I'm going to save a little bit of butter in there for the other side. Hello from the other side. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread the butter on the pan just a little bit. Now, if the pan gets saturated, as it's getting saturated right now with butter, I can take this right here and put the butter on the side that's not going to be down on the pan. And this is going to save butter. And then I'm going to go ahead and place the sandwich on top of the butter. Now, when you're doing this, it's very crucial that you take the bread and let it soak up all the butter that it can possibly get, just like that. You see that? I'm letting the sandwich soak up as much butter as it possibly can. And it's doing this, all right, I'm doing this so when it cooks, it'll be a nice golden brown color on the other side. And you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, once we get this soaked up with all the butter on one side. All right, so if you're wondering what kind of butter I'm using, I know a lot of you are. This is all American, pure Irish butter. Really good stuff right here. So I'm going to take, oh, it smells like it's cooking too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to put some butter on here. I'm going to go ahead and flip it, because I don't want this to burn up on the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and get underneath here. And I feel like it's cooking too fast. And I'm going to flip this. Now, once I raise this off the pan, it's no longer cooking on that side. So let's go ahead and flip it and see what it looks like. All right? Absolute goodness. All right, now look at that. Do you remember what I told you? I told you it'd be nice golden brown. Now look at that. Nice crispiness right there. Look at that. I have the flame down low, and I'm just going to be cooking this right here. I'm going to wait till the other side gets as golden brown as this, and then we're going to put this on a plate, and we're going to look at what it looks like inside. And I can promise you, it's going to be very tasty. It's actually going to be absolute goodness if you ask me. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. And what I like to do is, even though the butter is all underneath there, there's a lot of butter underneath the sandwich. There's actually some browned butter on the sides right here. You see this brown butter? I don't know if you can see that right there. Where brown butter, if you've ever browned butter, it's probably one of the most tastiest things that you've ever tasted in your life. And we want to get that butter on to the sandwich, just like this. Let it get toasted, nice and toasted right here. I have it down low, so it might not be toasting to the degree that I want it to, but we just have to leave it on longer. One other thing, when you're making a grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's okay to flip it over and over again, because you want the inside to be nice and gooey and merged together, where the peanut butter and the jelly come together as one to make absolute goodness. All right, in order to do that, if you're cooking it too fast, the problem with cooking it too fast is that the middle of the sandwich will not cook fast enough. It will not cook all the way. So you're left with a sandwich with cold jelly and peanut butter that's not melted. All right. So what we're going to do is, after I check to see how golden brown it is on the other side, I'm going to go ahead and flip it. And we're going to try to heat it up again on the other side. So I think it's golden brown. I'm going to go ahead and flip this. Just like that. Do you see that? Nice golden brown right here. And I'm just going to heat it up on this side underneath right here. And just let it heat up. And then I'm going to go ahead and place it on there. Turn off the flame, as a matter of fact, because I think there was enough heat. I'm going to place it on the plate in the Granitestone pan. Check the description part, or not the description part, but the little tabs below if you want to see what the Granitestone pans are all about, just below. Really nice. All right, if you want me to cook anything else, I can keep on going all night. All you have to do is let me know in the comment section right there, and I'll keep on cooking up more recipes that will absolutely blow your mind. All right, so just let me know in the message, type a message right there, and let me know if you want me to cook some more of my wonderful recipes, and I'll keep on going. If not, this is going to be the last sandwich of the night. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. There's enough heat on here. I'm going to take my spatula and get underneath here. And look how golden brown it is. Do you see the pink right there? All right, that's the jelly right there. That's the nice, sweet jelly that's going to go nice with the savory peanut butter that I have mixed in with it. But we're going to see this in a second because I'm going to put this onto the plate. And then I'm going to slice it open, and we're going to see what was really going on right here. All of this absolute goodness in one plate. We're going to see this, and we're going to taste this, and it's going to be absolute goodness if you ask me. So I'm just going to wipe up a little bit. Crumbs everywhere. Feels like it's a Nature's Valley granola bar. Crumbs everywhere. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this open, and we're going to see the gooiness of the cheese. Excuse me, I said cheese. I'm still thinking of the last recipe I had. We're going to see the gooiness of the peanut butter, the gooiness of the jelly. Look at it. I'm trying to get in close so you can see that. Look at the gooiness. Look at the toasted bread right here. The buttery brown toasted bread. Look at the jelly. Look at the peanut butter. Look at the peanut butter and jelly merged together. There's only one thing I can say about that. Absolute goodness, if you ask me. Absolute goodness. Have a good night.